but a few fans have ran into me. They know where I live, so I'm like, yo, what if this was a crazy person? Bro, I am staring at my phone. I am terrified. Do you think that maybe she's capable of doing something like this? He's like, bro, to be honest with you, it's possible. So around the beginning of 2019, back in Austin, Texas, I had this crazy fangirl stalk me and follow me to my house and got inside my house twice. So one morning, I went to the gym to work out, as I do, or rather, as I did before the virus hit. It was one of those popular membership gyms, you know the ones. I walk through the door, walk up to the counter, put in my code to sign in when I'm greeted by the desk girl, you know? And I noticed that she was like staring at me. Like she knew me or something, you know? And I don't even think YouTube. I just like, oh, maybe I met her before. So I'm like, yo, what's up? Have we met before? I know who you are. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's me. I'm the guy. Yeah, I watch you all the time. This is crazy. I just got a job here. Wow, I can't believe this is happening. Oh, so you watch my videos? Yeah. You're like one of my favorites. Okay, bet. Oh wow, shout out to you. Wow. Well, hey, you know, it was great meeting you. That's crazy. That's dope. Thank you for the support. I'm about to go work out though. You have a great day. So I say goodbye, I walk away, and I don't think much of it, you know, cause I meet fans from time to time, you know? It's cool, it's great. If you ever meet me in person or see me, come ask to take a picture. I love it, it's great. Especially if I'm in front of a girl or my family. Do it all the time. So I continue to go to the gym, I see her a few more times. Whenever she sees me, she waves hello. Nothing crazy, right? So I make music, right? Got a whole music channel, Spotify. Check it out if you want. Outro song pretty fire. That's all I got to say. But I make music, and I make music with my friends. One of my friends at the time was living with me at my apartment back in Austin, Texas. His name's John, and he's a producer. Pretty good at it, actually. In fact, if you ever saw that viral TikTok where Trap Chinese New Year, King Vader made a viral dance to it or whatever, John made that. So, you know, you could go check him out. It's only one of the most viral beats to ever go viral on TikTok in the history of TikTok. But whatever, that's just my boy who lived with me. Okay, all right, whatever. So one day, John comes into my room and he's like, hey, yo, bro, got this little shorty coming through, though. So I'm like, bet, that's dope. What's up with that? He's like, yeah, this shorty, she hit me up out of nowhere, says she wanna make some music. So, you know, I'm about to charge her like $40 an hour, make some money, and then maybe afterwards we can kick it. You cool with that? So I'm like, yeah, bro, bet, go make your money. He's like, cool, I'll tell her to pull up in like an hour. So about an hour goes by when I hear the doorbell ring, but John's still in the shower. He's like, hey, bro, you mind? Just let her in, keep her entertained in the living room. I'ma be right down. I'm like, I got you, bro. I got you. Don't even worry about it, broski. I got you. So I go downstairs to the door, you know, all smooth like, gotta represent. Open the door, see the girl. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm done. John is in the shower. He'll be right with you in a moment. I already met you before, silly. I took a step back and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, what's up? You from the gym? Yeah, I look a little different when I'm not wearing my work clothes. So, are you gonna let me in? Oh, yeah, come in. Yeah, so you make music too? Yeah, I'm like an artist, you know, I paint, I make music, I do all kinds of stuff, you know? You're like a real inspiration to me. Oh man, that's wow. Now, okay, I have to describe what this girl was wearing, because that's key to the story, right? So she was wearing a blue denim like jeans jacket on top of a black hoodie with some jeans or whatever. Nothing crazy, right? But then she sat on the couch, and when she sat on the couch, like the jeans jacket kind of like shifted, and it revealed a logo on the chest. And it was my merch. So I see that and I'm like, no, that's not good. That's not good now, no. But I play it cool, right? Like I'm still like giving her a chance. You know, I'm just like, okay, this is a lot. But maybe she just like really like rocks with me, you know? And can I be mad at that? Turns out, yeah, you can, and you should. So John finally comes downstairs, and he has no clue what's going on, right? So I'm like, oh, dope, okay, well, all right, I'll see y'all later. Y'all about to go make that music, right? Well, I'll be down here, y'all go upstairs, make that music, and I'll be down here and you up there. So they go upstairs and start making music. I stay downstairs and keep working on YouTube videos. And for a while, everything's okay, right? Maybe 30 minutes passes by when I hear little footsteps coming down the stairs. Who could it be? Oh, who else but my #1 fan. And now the jeans jacket is off. So it's just now my Sauce is Forever hoodie logo just in my face. I'm like, I've never not liked this hoodie so much in my life. Anyway, she comes downstairs for like some water, whatever, tries to talk to me. You know, I keep it short, she goes back upstairs. Does this maybe 3 more times in the space of 45 minutes. The next time someone comes down the stairs, it's John. He comes down, he looks at me, and he's looking at me like, yo, my bad, bro. And I'm looking at him like, yeah, you're bad, bro. Because without me even giving him the backstory, he could see what was going on. And you know, I wasn't really mad at him, but it was definitely weird. So I look at him, I'm like, hey, look. You didn't know. I didn't know. I'm about to leave. I'm gonna go to the gym or something. What time you said she gotta be out of here? And then he told me that she had work at 5 and that was in 2 hours. So I was like, cool, I'll just go to the gym, get some food, come back, she'll be gone. Bro, I go to the gym, I get some food, I come back at like 5:30. She's still there. I see her car, I call John, I'm like, yo, what's going on? Why is she still here? He's like, bro, she called out of work. She trying to make more music. I'm like, there's no more music, bro. Get her out of the house. If I gotta come in there, I'ma come in and I'ma tell her to leave. He's like, no, don't do that. I'ma tell her to leave. So he tells her to leave. And then she leaves. And then I go in the house. And then that was it. Or so I thought. So in my opinion, that was her like following me home, breaking into my house. Well, more like she finessed her way into the house. She did that once. Well, she did it again, but the second time, it was more illegal. So boom, you know, we sent her home. Me and John are laughing about it. And I'm like, yo, bro, you know, she can't ever come back. He's like, damn, well, she was talking about coming through on the reg. You know, that would be a few hundred a week for me. I'm like, well, this is too bad, because this girl's crazy. He's like, yeah. I didn't go back to that gym for a while, like maybe a month or 2. I was just like, I'm gonna let it breathe. But it was the closest one. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back. It's whatever. If I see her, I see her. If I don't, cool. So I start going back to that gym like every day, but I don't see her. Mornings, nights, nothing. So I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe she quit. Maybe she got fired. I don't know. Maybe she moved to another gym. I don't know. I don't care. Not complain. So I continue to live my life and I don't think about it. So that concludes Act 1 of this story, but it gets crazier. This is a 2-part story, but instead of doing the typical YouTube thing and trying to split it up and get more views, I decided to give you the whole story at once. So if you are enjoying this video, please click the like button, drop a comment, it helps a lot. A lot of people and resources went into making this video, especially so quickly after my last one. Thank you as always for your undying support and loyalty. And now, I present you Act 2. Fast forward, and it's now like Halloween time, right? So John and I decided to go and hit the grocery store to get some candy, right? I wanted a very specific chocolate. I wanted Ferrero Rochers. Now, I don't eat these chocolates anymore, so this is not an ad, but in the past, Ferrero Rochers were my favorite chocolate. So much so that John and I went to the store, I bought a whole box, and I put it on my story on Instagram saying how much I love these. Okay, that's all you need to know about that part, okay? It was key information. Moving on. So, like I said, it's now Halloween time, which means it's fall, so it's nice outside. So what I did is I took my workstation, my desk, my computers, all of that, moved it from the living room down into the garage so I could work in the garage with the garage door open, and it would kind of be like I'm working outside with the fresh air. It was just great. Only thing is, sometimes I would go upstairs to just do something and forget that I left the garage door open. In fact, a couple times, I left the garage door open overnight. Now, I lived in a nice neighborhood. The neighbors knew me. Also, the garage door, I always left it like half open. I would never open it all the way. So, whether it be luck or just circumstance, no one ever like stole anything from me. Well, one morning, I wake up and I go downstairs to get to work when I noticed that I had left the garage door open. And I'm like, gotta stop doing that. That's not good. So I sit at my desk, getting ready to start work, when I notice that on my desk was a pack of Ferrero Rocher chocolate. So at first, of course, I'm confused because I would have remembered buying these and I didn't. So then I instantly think, oh, it was probably my neighbors. You see, at the time, I had these very cool neighbors and we were like family, we'd have cookouts all the time, and the girlfriend had like these two daughters. One was like in middle school, one was like in elementary school, and they knew I was a YouTuber, and they think it's cool. So I'm thinking, okay, one of these people must like maybe it's Halloween, maybe they had over some leftover chocolate, and coincidentally, it happened to be my favorite chocolate, and I guess they thought it was cool to just leave it on my desk. That's okay, cool, right, for sure. Gotta be that. Can't be nothing else. And like I said, these were my favorite chocolates. So I ate them. And I was suspicious of it. I was like, there's a chance it wasn't them, and if it wasn't them, this is weird. But they were my favorite, bro. I couldn't help myself. So later in the day, I run into my neighbor, and I asked her, I was like, hey, did you or the girls leave me some chocolate on my desk? She's looking at me like, what? Why would I do that? We don't like you that much, Don.
He needs some milk.
Instantly, my stomach starts to hurt because I realized I had just eaten some strange chocolate. I mean, it's not really a secret where I lived. Like, I didn't put it out and publicize it, but a few fans have ran into me. They know where I live, so I'm like, yo, what if this was a crazy person? What if this was a prank? What if they did something to the chocolates? I'm dying. I'm dying. I run upstairs, I go to the kitchen trash, I put my finger down my throat, bro, and I start to try and make myself like throw up. I was never good at doing that, so I didn't. So then I just laid on the couch and accepted that I had just eaten cyanide or something and I was gonna die any minute now. But some more time passed and I thought about it. One, I'd eaten the chocolate hours ago, so if there was anything wrong with it, I would have felt it by now. Two, I did really take care to make sure it was sealed, closed, like just to be safe. I was like, just in case. And I had one more left in the pack, so I was like, these are probably fine. And I just ate it, and I was fine, okay? I know, stupid, right? But I love these chocolates. But now we had a mystery on our hands, right? Where did they come from? It didn't take long for me to think that maybe Shorty left them here. So I called John because he was out of town at the time, and I called him and I'm like, yo, bro, this happened. Do you think that maybe she's capable of doing something like this? He's like, bro, to be honest with you, it's possible. I don't know. You want me to ask her? So I'm like, I guess. I mean, how do you ask somebody if they broke into your house and left chocolates on your table? Now, yes, I know she didn't break in, but she was definitely trespassing. So John asks her, he hits me back, And she admitted to doing it, bro. So he's like, yo, what do you want to do now? So then I'm like, I don't know, bro. This is weird, man. I ain't never done nothing like this. This is crazy. I decided I'm gonna just ignore it, right? I'm gonna move all my stuff back into the living room, stop working in the garage, and just pretend this never happened. Well, a few days later, I get a text from an unknown number. It goes, hey, this is so-and-so from the gym. I know what I did was kind of a lot, but I just really wanted to give you something. I made a painting for you. Bro, I am staring at my phone. I am terrified. How did this girl get my number? What is going on right now? Weird or anything, but yeah, you know. I put my phone down and I start to think, okay, what do I do? First, I'm like, how did she get my number? I called John and I'm like, bro, did you give this girl my number? He's of course offended that I even asked him that, for good reason. He's a good friend. So now I'm like, yo, how could she get my number? And then he reminded me that she worked at the gym and you have to use your phone number to sign in when you go to the gym. So we put 2 and 2 together and figured, okay, all she had to do was look up my name, which she definitely knows, and then she would have my number. So now I'm like, yo, this girl is a different kind of crazy, bro. So I take a second and I compose a message. I said some stuff about how I had a girlfriend, which I didn't, and how, you know, she would find it very inappropriate with us getting close, and, you know, I appreciate the love and the gestures, but I think I need, you know, some space, and if you could please just leave me alone, that would be great. Something like that. You know, I dressed it up. I didn't want her to show up to my house with a butcher knife. And that was the last time I ever saw her, I ever heard from her. And I think after that, she just left me alone. But I can't help but leave you off with a chilling image in your mind. So that day when she came, that night when she left the chocolates on the desk, right? The door from my garage into my house was unlocked. It's always unlocked. And I was the only one home, and I'm a bit of a heavy sleeper, which means that it's altogether likely that that night, this girl came into my house. Maybe she went in my kitchen, looked in my fridge. She might have come into my bedroom. She might have stood right above me. And truth is, I wouldn't have even known. Yeah, shawty hit me back, she said she really feel it. She said come through, it's a go. I hit her back like I know. I got her touching her toes. Baby, throw that my way. I know what you wanna say when you tell me it's mine to none. Girl, you know I don't mind. Shawty, I know how this is supposed to go. Been down this road before. You don't gotta say it to my face. I know that I'm just another phase. Baby, I know that you're scared to catch this. You don't wanna turn this into baggage. Baby girl, she treat me like a habit, yeah. How you got hair on your balls and you don't know how to swim? If I was in the ocean and my hypothetical girlfriend, like, no doubt about it. And at that moment, I love big girls. Hey, what's going on? Before the video started, I just want to take a second to say thank you. Thank you for a great 2018, man. This is the last video or last animated story I'm going to be posting for this year. And this year has been crazy, man. A lot has happened this year. I mean, I know it was kind of the thing to do to get on camera and talk about how depressed you are this year. That seemed to be a popular thing among YouTubers, but that's just not my style. But I will say that this year I definitely hit the lowest point I've ever been, mentally. It was bad, but I found a way to not only pull myself out of that, but to turn it around like 180, to turn all that into just Fire. I'm excited for 2019. 2019 is gonna be the year of the sauce, man. Just wait on it. No doubt. Last thing I want to say is make sure to go and watch my last animation if you haven't seen it. It took me 7 months to tell that story, meaning it took me 7 months to work up the courage to tell that story. It was very embarrassing. It was one of one of my least proud moments when it comes to girls. It was just weird, but I did it and I didn't want to bury it. I didn't want to hide it. I wanted to share it with you guys and share what I learned about it. So please go and check it out. I think it's called the cringe story that I never wanted you to hear, because I was this close to never telling that story, but I did. Thank you guys for everything. Enjoy the video. For most of my life, I've been terrified of the water, and I'm not exactly sure where it comes from. I mean, technically I did almost drown when I was like 6, but I think it stems more from my mom. You see, my mom can't swim at all, not even to save her own life, and because of that, she was always hyper paranoid whenever she took me around water as a kid, because she knew that if I ever was in a position where I needed to be saved, there wasn't that she could do about it. So as a result, I developed a fear of the water, and I didn't learn how to swim until I was like 13. How did I learn, you ask? Well, one summer, I was with my dad visiting my aunt in Florida, and she happened to have a pool. And then one day, my dad was like, "Hey, how come you don't know how to swim?" And then I was like, "What? What you mean?" And then he's like, "Boy, how you got hair on your balls and you don't know how to swim? What's wrong with you?" And then I was like, "Oh, I don't know, Dad. Maybe if you taught me how to swim when I was a kid, I'd know how to swim. You ever think about that, huh, Dad?" And then he kicked me in the pool, just on some straight, this is Sparta, bam, just straight in the pool, just like that. So now I'm in the deep end, just flailing and then he's like, "You better swim, son, or you finna die." And although some may say that this was an unconventional and possibly traumatic way to teach someone how to swim, it did work, because I definitely learned how to swim that day, and ever since then, I have loved swimming. Now, I'm still not a good swimmer. Like, I can swim for myself. If you drop me a mile into the ocean, I can make it to shore, but it's based on nothing but pure athleticism. Like, I have zero form, it's ugly to watch, I use way too much energy, and I splash too much, but I could save myself. However, if I had to, let's say, save someone else, like if I was in the ocean and my hypothetical girlfriend needed saving because she caught a leg cramp or something, she's going to die, because there is nothing that I can do about that. Like, there is no sense in both of us drowning. Do you get what I'm saying? So this specific story takes place around the age of 15. My stepdad and I used to go to this local Olympic-sized swim pool back in Jamaica on the weekends, and it was usually empty because it was private access to employees of the place my mom works for. So we usually had this big-ass pool to ourselves. But on this day, this other family showed up, a mom and her daughter, and the daughter was a little younger than me. Now, I see her, and instantly I go up to her and I was like, "Hey, you wanna play?" Like a kid, "You wanna play?" And I was like that because I didn't feel the need to be cool around her, because she was a little on the heavy side. Hey, listen. I love big girls, okay? I just didn't know how good big girl loving was at that age. At 15, I don't like skinny girls, man. It takes a grown man to appreciate just how good big girl loving is, man. They so soft and cuddly, and in my experience, they usually smell rather nice, like fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. It's delicious. But at 15, like I said, I was only into skinny girls because I was a virgin. So I didn't see this girl as a girl I need to impress. So I see her and I instantly go into, "Ooh, let's play" mode. So we agreed to have a race. We were gonna race from the deep end to the shallow end and back to the deep end. That was the plan, right? So we get in position, and then on the count of 3, we were off. Now, although she was a little thick and younger, and a girl, she stayed on my ass the entire time because she obviously knew how to swim. Meanwhile, I'm just willing myself through the water. So there we are, getting back to the deep end, and the race is almost over. And I can hear her splashes right behind me, but it was clear that I was going to win. And then with less than 5 feet left in the race, this girl jumps on my back like she mounted me like a fucking horse. And instantly, I began to drown. Like in 2 seconds, I was gulping down mouthfuls of water, and I'm trying to shake her loose, hoping that she would realize that she was going to kill me. But she just held on, like she thought she was being cute or something. And remember, this pool was deep. It's like 15 feet deep at this point. So I quickly realized that if I didn't do something, this girl was gonna drown me. Like, no doubt about it. And at that moment, I realized I gotta punch this bitch in the face. Like, I had no other choice. So, with the last bit of energy left in my body, I falcon punched this girl in the face. And I guess she got the memo because she promptly released me from her thick girl grip. After which, I managed to wiggle myself to the edge of the pool and pull myself out. And that's the story of how a thick girl almost drowned me. The end. Ah, man, you know, not every video is gonna have some deep moral at the end. I really don't know if there is a moral to this. If anything, it's, yo, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Sometimes you're put in a situation where you gotta break the rules, where you gotta do things you wouldn't typically do, you know? I would never, ever condone a man or a boy or a male hitting a girl. I don't care what anyone want to say. I personally just don't believe a man should ever put his hands on a woman. But if she finna drown you, if she about to drown you, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Oh, man. Thank you guys for a great 2018. Make sure to go and watch my last animation, The Cringe Story I Never Wanted You to Hear. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell. I'm asking you to consider it. I know you guys don't like being told what to do, but I would really appreciate it. I hope you have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas, or Happy Holidays. I don't know the other ones. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, that one's already gone, right? Feliz Navidad. Yeah, man, I'll see you in 2019. You should get the next video around the 8th of January. Peace. So this story takes place around March of this year, and yes, it involves Tinder. It's always the same thing, man. I get tired of being single. I download Tinder. I use it heavily for like 2 days, and then I match with a bunch of girls, which isn't that hard to do when you swipe right as much as I do. Listen, it's a numbers game. All right, get off me. So I'll match with a group of girls, and then I start weeding out the crazies and the catfishes. And I'll start off talking to like a dozen girls, just feeling them out. And as soon as I find one that I'm really feeling, I'll just abandon all the other conversations. Just ghost them, all of them, and focus on the one I really like. And now everyone's looking at me. So Eli's like, what do you mean you got one? So then I'm like, yeah, I got one. Yeah, my boy got a Game Shark, and I use it to get that fusion shit, you know? Don, you got a Kyogre Groudon fusion? For real? Yeah. Big man thing. So how y'all move, so then? If you have it, take it out, because I don't believe that. Yo, what is you doing, bro? Push-ups. Nigga, those are not push-ups. Cause they're not regular push-ups, nigga. They're called pipe push-ups, but you wouldn't know nothing about that. Sure. Where do you even learn that? Young Don. Who? Sauce God, nigga. Young Don the Sauce God. You mean the nigga that makes cartoons? Bro, I feel you, but just check him out. Just check this shit out. Okay. Yeah, bro. He started like a vlog channel. This nigga look like he know what he talking about, bro. Bro, he cannot be that big, bro.
You're good at judgment, please. You know, make sure the things you're...
Oh, that's him? That's him? Yeah, bro, I told you. This nigga, he look like he know what he talking about. I ain't know he was built like that. I ain't know that.
You are literally on my TV. But okay. That's it right there.
You good?
One more. Okay.
I ain't know he look like that. I know that's how you look.
Not everybody's gonna have this available.
I might check your shit out. I don't know.
So if you are blessed enough to have a nice L-shaped.
So this is another story that took place back in my Jamaican high school. Y'all seem to really enjoy the last one I told, getting suspended in high school. Highly recommend you go watch it after this one. It's one of my best videos. Anyway, I was in the 8th grade, right? I was about 13 years old, and at the time, I was still very much into playing Pokemon. You know, Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. And for the OG fans, you will know that one of the first videos I ever posted was about how I stole my first Pokemon video game in the 6th grade. That was 2 years before the time of this story. Now, I understand that there may be those of you who don't fully understand how the Pokemon video games work. Here's all you gotta know to enjoy this story. When you start off in the world of Pokemon, you're given a baby Pokemon as a gift. Your mission is to train this baby Pokemon by having it kill other baby Pokemons. As you do this successfully, your Pokemon gets stronger. Eventually, it gets so strong that it changes form and evolves. Also, sometimes, instead of killing the other Pokemon, once you've beaten it close to death, not quite dead, but almost dead, you can catch it with a Pokeball, adding it to your team of Pokemon, and now you can use that Pokemon to kill other Pokemons too. It's great. Last thing you need to know, there are hundreds of different Pokemon, but of these hundreds, there are a few that are a cut above the rest. Some would say a master race of Pokemon, known as legendaries. They're very strong and very rare. They're usually no more than a handful that you can catch in any one Pokemon game. So when you catch one, you wear it like a badge of honor. Now, of course, there are a few other dimensions to the game, but that's all you need to know. Now, at this time, it was still okay to play Pokemon. Like, the cool kids were still openly expressing their enjoyment of the game, right? But this would completely change by the 9th grade. If anyone knew you were still playing Pokemon in the 9th grade, you're like a dweeb, you know? But best believe niggas was still playing Pokemon in the 9th grade, nigga. You just wouldn't tell nobody. Only the boys, you feel me, who would trade Pokemon with you in secrecy. And that's pretty much what high school is when you think about it. Anyway, one day, I noticed a group of kids circling around a lunch table, and I saw a couple of my friends in the group, so I made my way to the table. I get there, and I see two dudes are locked into a 1v1 Pokemon battle. Before there was Ninja and FaZe Clan and all of that shit, niggas huddled around lunch tables watching two dudes play each other with their Game Boys tucked in their backpacks so they wouldn't get caught by a passing teacher. So the battle ends, and then the group gets to talking, and then the dude that lost started making excuses. He was blaming the fact that the other dude, Eli, had a team consisting of mostly legendary Pokemon. Eli, of course, shrugged it off with a classic, "Hey, life's not fair, right? Maybe if you got that Kyogre Groudon fusion you keep talking about, you might actually win one." So then dude was like, "Nigga, I told you, when my auntie comes back from Florida, she's gonna bring me a Game Shark, I'ma get the fusion, and then I'ma tax that ass." Nigga, shut the fuck up. I already told you that fusion shit ain't real, nigga. It don't exist. And then for some reason, I say, "I got one." Whole group gets quiet, and now everyone's looking at me. So Eli's like, "What do you mean you got one?" So then I'm like, "Yeah, I got one. I got one. Yeah, my boy got a Game Shark, and I use it to get that fusion shit, you know?" "Don, you got a Kyogre Groudon fusion? For real?" "Yeah. Big man thing." So how y'all move so then? If you have it, take it out. Cause I don't believe that. Yo, you know, so I'm gonna bring my game at school stills. You know, my mother would have killed me if I lost that. So, damn my yard. Yo, you're a fucking liar, bro. So then I'm like, fine, I'll bring it tomorrow. So then Eli's like, okay, say less. All right, tomorrow, I'll bring it tomorrow. And then I start to walk away. And I start to panic because I don't even know what a Kyogre Groudon looks like. Okay, two things. First thing, so this is Kyogre and this is Groudon, right? These are legendary Pokemon. Well, back in the 8th grade, there were these rumors floating around that if you were able to get your hands on a Game Shark, which was basically a device for cheating, you could use it to fuse a Groudon with a Kyogre and make a super legendary Pokemon. Now, nobody knew for sure if this was true, because it was impossible to get a Game Shark in Jamaica. It simply wasn't sold on the island at the time. Well, my childhood best friend, Jeremy, had recently gotten one. He had a lot of family who lived in America, and one of his relatives brought one back to Jamaica for him. So I figured all I gotta do is go to Jeremy's, get the Kyodon, I came up with that name. Bring the Kyodon to school, let everybody know that I'm that nigga, and then Eli is gonna think I'm cool. That was the second thing. Eli. You see, Eli and I grew up going to the same church, right? His grandmother and my mother were well-acquainted church sisters. And because of that, Eli and I were cool. In the 7th grade, when we both started high school, neither of us knew too many people at the school. So we were boys, you know, we'd hang out during lunchtime, hang out after school. It was cool to just have somebody I knew in this new environment. Well, during the summer break between 7th and 8th grade, which is now the 2nd year of high school, something happened. You know, Eli started rolling with the tough guys. You know, he became a bad man. I didn't see him anymore at church, and when I ran into him during the 8th grade, he was acting all, you know, hard and like he didn't fuck with me. And you know, being 13, immature, and young, when you see a dude that you used to roll with switch up on you, you know, kind of sucks. It's like, damn, nigga, I thought we were boys. Now you the cool dude, you the tough guy. Niggas respect you. Can't fuck with me, I'm too soft for you. Damn, it's like that. That's kind of how I felt, you know? And I knew I wasn't gonna be no tough guy anytime soon. So in a weird roundabout way, I thought that if I could just get my hands on this Kyodon, Eli will fuck with me again. And you know, maybe I'd even become one of the cool dudes too, without having to become a bad man, you know? Because that's not who I was. Now, I remember clearly that the next day was a Friday. I remember that because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to see Jeremy until the weekend, and I had to go to school one more time, empty-handed, before I would be able to get my hands on the Game Shark. Needless to say, I was moving like that nigga from Assassin's Creed the whole day, bro. Sneaking around corners, ducking behind lockers. I didn't want anyone from the group to see me. Unfortunately, I did run into Eli towards the end of the day, and of course, he asked me about the Kyodon, to which I responded, I forgot? You forgot. Monday. If you ain't got this Kyodon on Monday, it's gonna be a problem. Problem? Psst. Nigga, I'ma have 2 of them Kyodons, bro. I'ma get you one too. Just digging myself deeper, bro. I don't even know why, bro. So, he lets it slide. I'm like, cool, see you Monday. So the weekend comes around, and my mom gives me permission to go over to Jeremy's house, right? So I get there, and after we chill for a little bit, you know, I bring up the Kyodon. I'm like, yo, Jay, I really need your help to get this Pokemon, bro. He's like, bet, what you need, I got you. What you want, a Mew? A Mewtwo? I know, you want a Lugia. Nah, you know the ones from Emerald, the Groudon and the Kyogre? Can we get, I need the fusion. You mean Rayquaza? Rayquaza's not a fusion, bro. Nah, like, ain't there like you can fuse? Bro, ain't there a fusion between Groudon and Kyogre? You want a Jirachi?
Oh, he needs some milk!
And that's when it hit me. That's when I realized I was fucked. because Jeremy knew more about Pokemon than anyone else I knew. And if he didn't know about the Kyodon, there ain't no Kyodon, bro. So fast forward to Monday, and I decide to just pretend like nothing's going on. So I'm walking through the campus, and of course, I run into Eli. Yo, Don, what's up, bro? Hey, what's up, Eli? What's up? What's up with the Kyodon? Don, I could not wait to see you today. So, come on, where's it at? Lay it on me. Yeah, the Kyodon. Crazy, bro. I forgot my game again. Oh, you forgot it? But you saying you got one, right? Yeah, I got one, bro. I just keep forgetting my game, man. And we both knew that I was lying. It was obvious. It's not like we were friends anymore. I didn't owe him anything, and he never believed I had it to begin with, so I couldn't see why he wouldn't just drop it and leave me with like just a little bit of my pride left intact. But he wanted to press the issue. It was like he was genuinely angry at me. Watch this. So the next time I see you and you don't have the game, you and me will go have a problem. You understand? I didn't recognize Eli anymore. I wanted to believe that my friend was still there, you know, and that this was all just an act, you know, trying to figure out his place in the school, in the world, and this was just a phase he was going through. But it became clear to me that no, this was who he wanted to be. So much so that he was threatening me. Over Pokemon, by the way. What the fuck? How lame is that? So for the rest of this week, I did everything I could to avoid running into this dude. But eventually, he did spot me. I was walking by his classroom. It had been a few days, maybe even a week. So I guess I started to relax a bit. He sees me. Hey, yo, Don, what's up? So I stopped, and I was nervous, but I also wanted this to end. You feel me? I was not gonna continue the rest of my school semester like this. Yo, what's up? What's up? I'm still waiting on this Kyodon. Don? Yeah? Well, I don't got it. So what now, Eli? Knew you're a fucking liar. Yeah. So what now? Whatever, man. And that was it. He walked away, and he never bothered me again about the whole Pokemon thing. That was definitely the nail in the coffin, though. From that day on, we did not fuck with each other, and it would eventually come to a head in the 9th grade during a confrontation on the basketball court, where I almost made what would have been the worst decision of my entire life. So make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, turn on the notification bell. I love you, and I'll see you soon. We gotta go, baby, we're wasting our time trying to decide where we should go. Baby, just follow your mind, let it decide all on its own. Baby, I know what you're scared of. No, I'll give you everything I have, but won't go near love. I can hear those demons from my past again, yeah. Moving too fast again. Don't wanna put you to the side, but you know it's hard to decide, yeah. But in the meantime, can we keep moving like this? If you want more, I'm gonna need time. Live in the nighttime, girl, you know it's my time. Do you wanna come for a ride? Baby, there's a price for this lifestyle. Look at you, watch us flying by. If you never live, you still gon' die. Being a kid and not understanding what was going on, I found a teacher and tried to explain to her what I was experiencing. And I guess I wasn't able to properly explain myself because all she heard was my eyes were broken. But now you all about that meat. Make a banger. Hey, bro! Hey, bro! Give it a thing. I mean, life is easy, bro.
Yeah,
you just get up and do it.
Life is easy.
No practice. I think a lot of us, maybe most of us, can relate to wanting other people to think that we're cool. And what does it even mean to be cool? Well, depends who you ask. Being cool means different things to different people, based on how old you are, where you're from, what you're interested in. Everyone has their own version of what cool is. It's one of those things that's hard to describe, but you know it when you see it. There's a lot of things that people will do for the sake of being cool, man. Dye their hair, buy overpriced clothes, drive fancy cars, do all three. But sometimes we go a little too far for the sake of being cool. For instance, I remember this one time in like the 4th grade, I went a little too far trying to look cool. But all I ended up doing was making myself look like a fool. I can't remember what exactly put the thought in my head, but for some reason at that age, I began to think that glasses were cool. And I'm not talking about sunglasses, bro. I'm talking about regular old glasses. The ones people use to see better. I don't know if it was some I saw on TV or a kid I saw at school, but for whatever reason, I made the connection between wearing glasses and looking cool. So, being a kid and wanting desperately to look cool for all my friends at school, I decided that I had to have my own pair of glasses. I knew what I wanted them to look like, I knew they sold them at the pharmacy, and I knew that if I could convince my parents that I needed glasses, they would get them for me. There was only one small little problem standing in between me and being the coolest kid on the block. My eyes. They're fine. In fact, they're more than fine. All my life, I've had perfect 20/20 vision. So you could clearly see how that would make it difficult for me to convince my parents that I needed glasses. But being the resourceful young man that I am, I wasn't gonna let something as trivial as not having an actual medical condition get in the way of me and the drip, bro. Nah. I'ma get these glasses. Well, one day, I was sitting in class, messing around with my school supplies, when I discovered that I could do something kinda interesting with my ruler. I'm talking about the standard 12-inch ruler that you brought to school as a kid. The one I had was transparent, and I discovered that when I held it at a certain angle and looked through it, it behaved like a lens. I realized it would bend the light passing through it. So when you held it close to your face and looked through it, it would distort what you saw, kind of like a prism or a magnifying glass, creating this trippy optical illusion. So there I am, looking around through my ruler, and I guess I did it a little too long, because when I took the ruler from my face and looked around, everything looked slanted. Like the entire classroom looked like it was tilted at an angle. And I don't know how to explain it, all right? I'm not a doctor. That's just what happened, okay? So, as you can imagine, it was very disorienting. One time, it made me dizzy. My sense of balance was all screwed up, so much to the point that when I tried to walk, I felt like I was falling over. Kinda like how you feel when you get off a tilt-a-wheel at the carnival. So, being a kid and not understanding what was going on, I found a teacher and tried to explain to her what I was experiencing. And I guess I wasn't able to properly explain myself because all she heard was my eyes were broken. So she sends me to the nurse's office and tells me that she's gonna call my parents because she thought that maybe I needed glasses. Glasses, you say? So there I am, sitting in the nurse's station, and boy was I happy. Finally, I was gonna get my cool new glasses. But, as you would probably assume, after a few minutes of sitting there, the effects of the illusion completely wore off, and everything was back to normal. This was gonna be a problem. So, I tamed my ruler, and I tried to do the thing again, but it didn't work. Eventually, my dad gets there, and the nurse starts to explain to my dad that she thinks that there may be something wrong with my eyes. My dad looks at me and is like, "Son, is this true? Is there something wrong with your eyes?" And then I say, "Yeah, I can't see, Dad. Everything looks all wavy." He's like, "Are you sure? This is very serious, son." I'm like, "Yeah. My eyes are broken." He looks at me with a sense of concern, puts his hand on my head and is like, okay, well, don't worry about it. We're gonna get it all sorted out. He picks up my bag and we head to the car. And of course, now I'm selling it. You feel me? I'm stumbling, pretending like I can't walk in a straight line. You would have thought I was going blind, bro, which must have seemed crazy because I was fine that morning when he dropped me off of school. We get in the car and we leave school. So I'm in my seat, all happy. I'm like, so I guess we gotta go to the pharmacy and get some glasses, huh, Dad? He's like, well, that's what it sounded like, son. But first we gotta go to the optometrist. I'm like, the what? He's like, the optometrist, the eye doctor. They need to take a look at your eyes so they know what kind of glasses you need. You just can't wear any type of glasses. You could end up making things even worse. What? The eye doctor? They got eye doctors? Make my vision worse? What is he talking about? Glasses make you see better. So I started to get a little worried, you know, because I figured I may be able to trick my teachers and my parents, but this eye doctor guy, he might figure out that I was faking it. Anyway, we get to the eye doctor and my mom shows up and now we're all just waiting to hear my name get called. We go into the eye examination room and they start doing some tests. The doctor's doing his thing, shining lights in my eyes, asking me questions. They got me looking through this like microscope looking thing at a picture of a hot air balloon. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that now I'm too deep, you know, my parents left work, I'm talking to this doctor. For all of this, something better be wrong with my eyes, bro. We finish all of the preliminary eye exams, and then the doctor looks at me and my parents and is like, well, Mr. and Mrs. Hines, everything seems to be okay with little Donald here, but I want to do one last test, and then we'll know for sure. He takes us into a big, dark room. And in the middle of the room was a medical chair, kind of like the ones you would see at the dentist. Hanging in front of the chair was what is known as a phoropter. It's this big, scary looking machine to figure out what prescription glasses you need. They work by using these little round lenses that they pop into the machine, and then they cycle through the different ones until they find one that gives you perfect vision. So he sits me in the chair, and in front of me was a big vision chart. You've seen them. They have like 11 different lines of letters, and as you go down the chart, every line has smaller and smaller letters. So, sitting in front of the chart, he asks me to start reading what I see. Now, I'm not stupid, so I understood that if I wanted these glasses, I had to fail this test somehow. So he asked me to read the first line. It was a big E. So I say, I see an E. Then he asked me to read the second line, then the third line. Again, I read what I saw. I figured that it would be more believable if I got the first few lines right. Then we get to the fourth line, and I was like, okay, game time. I look at the chart, and I'm like, I can't really tell. He tells me, just try your best. So I'm like, L, P, T? D? Okay. All right, now do the next line. Okay. D, F, O, P, D? Huh. And you're sure that's what you see? Yeah. Did I get it wrong? Bro, I could read the whole chart no problem, all the way down to 11, but I had to do what I had to do. So we do some more lines. I continue to fail on purpose, throwing in a correct answer occasionally, you know, just not to overdo it, you feel me? The doctor looks at my parents and is like, well, looks like Donald here may need a prescription after all. Yes! Suck it! You ain't no doctor. That's right, I'm about to get these glasses. You ain't that smart. So then the doctor places the phoropter in front of my face and explains to me that he's gonna cycle through a few different lenses to figure out what kind of glasses I needed. He sets up the first lens and then runs through the test again. Again, I fail the test on purpose, but this time I get more of them right. The doctor is like, interesting. Again, he changes the lenses, and again, I do a little better. He changes the lenses one more time and is like, okay, How about now? This time, I got every line right. Passed the test with flying colors. So then he's like, okay, I see what's going on. And I'm like, so am I gonna get my glasses today or tomorrow? Do I get them here? How does this work? He chuckles, and then he calls my parents to come closer. He then opens up a case with a bunch of different lenses, the same kind of lenses that go into the phoropter. He shows them to us, and then he's like, you see these lenses? These are the same kind of lenses that will go in your glasses based on what kind of prescription you needed. I'm like, okay. He then removes the cartridges that he was using in the phoropter and then sticks his finger through the frame to show us that they were empty. As in, there was no actual glass in the cartridges that he was using. Meaning, the whole time that he was flipping through the different settings on the phoropter, nothing was actually changing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Somehow, I went from struggling to read the chart to reading the entire thing without ever using an actual prescription lens. I was caught. He turns to my parents and is like, Mr. and Mrs. Hines, you would be glad to know that there is nothing wrong with your son's eyes. Donald here has perfect vision. My heart sank, my face turned red. I felt like such an idiot. My dad looks at me and starts laughing, bro. He's like, what is wrong with you? I ain't even know what to say, bro. I make up some BS. He's like, yeah, whatever. My mom, on the other hand, didn't find it as funny. She's like, I should spank you right here in front of everybody for lying like that. But instead, we all just went home and I never complained about my eyes ever again. As time goes on, the things that we think are cool will continue to change. But one thing that's for sure is that being a liar will forever be lame.
Sorry, mama, I know I don't call enough. I've been losing track of time because I'm trying to run it up. I've been fighting every night, I'm trying to get this money up. Said there's more to life, but I can't give it up. Timepiece flooded with baguettes, VVS. I wanna pee one, guess I never need one, but I wanna see one. So fast, I've been moving so fast. I just hope I don't crash. I've been feeling hella superficial, living lavish. I've been smoking big gas, I've been blowing big cash. All about the big racks. Don't talk if you bout the small talk, only bout the boss talk. Nigga, this is floss talk, flossing. Baby girl, I'm all in. I can hit this Neiman Marcus and spend 1,000. I just bought my first Louis belt and damn I love it. I could lose it all now, I should make it bad bitch. Bad bitch, yeah, she lost herself when she found me. Didn't need my help, but now she can't live without me. All mine, yeah, she said she's all mine. Never gonna flip side, she told me that God made her